Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving into the latest drama unfolding in Port Charles, where secrets unravel, alliances shift, and life-changing decisions are made. Buckle up as we explore the tangled web of deception, unexpected partnerships, and high-stakes confrontations. First, Olivia Quartermaine is about to make a compelling proposal to Carly Spencer, offering her an opportunity that could reshape her future. While Carly has been preoccupied with various crises, Olivia's optimism and strategic vision could provide a much-needed change of pace. The Quartermaines have always had a knack for business and manipulation, and Olivia's pitch might carry hidden implications that Carly will have to carefully consider. But Carly isn't one to be easily swayed. Will she see Olivia's plan as a golden opportunity or a potential trap? Meanwhile, Lulu Spencer's instincts kick into high gear as she begins to suspect that a well-kept secret is about to explode. Lulu's sharp mind and relentless curiosity could make her the biggest threat to those trying to keep the truth buried. As she digs deeper, she might find herself entangled in a scandal that not only affects Brooklyn Quartermaine and Harrison Chase but also the larger Quartermaine legacy. With every revelation, the stakes rise, and one wrong move could send shockwaves through multiple families. Chase, who has been confiding in Dante Falconeri, might unknowingly give Lulu the clues she needs. His concern for Brooklyn's hidden past, particularly regarding the child she gave up for adoption, has made him more determined than ever to help her. But could his involvement lead to unintended consequences? Dante, having once been romantically involved with Brooklyn as a teenager, could put two and two together, setting off a chain reaction that no one sees coming. Lois Cerullo, on the other hand, is struggling to keep Giovanni Gio Palmieri's true parentage a secret. Brooklyn's honesty with Chase might bring her relief, but Lois is filled with dread. If Chase takes things a step further and suggests tracking down Brooklyn's child, it could bring Lois's worst fears to life. As she scrambles to maintain control, she might resort to drastic measures to ensure the truth stays buried. But in Port Charles, secrets have a way of surfacing, often at the worst possible time. Elsewhere, Molly Lansing Davis and Cody Bell continue their whirlwind romance, stepping closer toward an emotional turning point. Their bond has deepened unexpectedly, and despite external pressures, their connection only grows stronger. At the same time, Trina Robinson's budding relationship with Kai Taylor flourishes, proving that love can sometimes blossom even in the midst of chaos. However, the road ahead may not be smooth for either couple, as challenges and unexpected obstacles loom on the horizon. While some relationships strengthen, others are fraught with tension. Ava Jerome and Christina Corinthos Davis clash in a significant way, leading to a heated confrontation. Both women are known for their strong personalities and refusal to back down, so their conflict could escalate into something more explosive. Could their dispute involve personal betrayals, business dealings, or something even more sinister? Meanwhile, Tracy Quartermaine has her sights set on a takedown plot against Drew Quartermaine. Never one to play fair, Tracy's scheming could catch Drew completely off guard. Whether it's a corporate power move or something even more personal, Drew will need to stay vigilant if he hopes to come out unscathed. At the same time, Nina Reeves is stirring up trouble as well, visiting Drew's house with an agenda of her own. Could she be planting a listening device or gathering information for a future attack? Whatever her plan is, it's bound to cause chaos. Carly Spencer is also navigating a personal battle, as she makes a heartfelt plea to Willow Corinthos. Having turned down Drew's offer to move in with him, Willow's decision initially brings Carly relief. However, Carly remains wary of any potential changes in Willow's stance and is determined to open her eyes to the kind of man Drew truly is. But will her words fall on deaf ears, or will she manage to sway Willow's opinion before it's too late? Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jax is at a crossroads that could define her future. After being told to remain silent about the events at the cabin, she struggles with growing anxiety, especially around Trina and her own mother. Jason Morgan finds himself embroiled in a police investigation, exactly the kind of distraction that Jack Brennan might have orchestrated. If Brennan's plan works, it could not only take suspicion off Jocelyn at the PCPD but also allow him to manipulate her further. However, Jocelyn is unpredictable, and if she feels cornered, she might go rogue, making a move that could change her life forever. If Jason faces jail time, Jocelyn might be driven to the edge, potentially confessing to killing Cyrus Renault herself. That's the last thing Brennan wants, so he may attempt to strike a deal, one that guarantees Jason's freedom in exchange for Jocelyn's cooperation in training for the WSB. This unexpected twist could push Jocelyn in a direction she never imagined, leading her down a path filled with danger, espionage, and intrigue. Back at General Hospital, Sonny Corinthos proves his loyalty once again, stepping up for Lucky Spencer after an emergency. Laura Collins brings him up to speed on the situation, voicing her fears that Cyrus Renault may still be lurking in the shadows. However, Anna Devane is developing her own theories. She's beginning to suspect that Cyrus isn't just missing, he might be dead. And if that's the case, all signs could start pointing to Jason Morgan as the prime suspect. Will Jason be able to clear his name before it's too late? While Sonny deals with this crisis, Jack Brennan deepens his connection with Carly, skillfully keeping his true intentions hidden. He's harboring massive secrets that could shake their entire relationship if exposed. As the tension escalates, Carly may find herself in the middle of a dangerous game she doesn't even realize she's playing. With so many intertwining storylines, Port Charles is a ticking time bomb ready to explode. From shocking betrayals to unexpected alliances, the coming weeks promise nothing but heart-pounding drama. Next, we're taking a deep dive into the emotional chaos surrounding Willow Corinthos, as she stands at a crossroads that will define her future. Torn between the remnants of her marriage to Michael Corinthos and the possibility of a new beginning with Drew Quartermaine, Willow faces immense pressure from all sides. But while her friends and family believe they are guiding her toward the right choice, their interference may be doing more harm than good. Could their actions push Willow into a situation she will come to regret? Let's analyze the intricate layers of this unfolding drama and the psychological patterns shaping Willow's fate. Willow's lifelong cycle of dependency. A pattern that won't break. At the heart of Willow's turmoil is a deep-rooted cycle of codependency, one that has defined her life from childhood to adulthood. For years, Willow has sought security in others rather than within herself. This is not simply a case of a woman struggling to choose between two men, rather, it is a symptom of a lifelong struggle to find her own sense of stability. Looking back at Willow's past, we can see how this pattern formed. Her early years were marked by her time in a cult, where her mother, Harmony Miller, was the only person she could trust. The tight control and isolation of that environment robbed Willow of the opportunity to develop independence. Once she left that life behind, she immediately sought new anchors, whether in the form of romantic relationships or newfound family bonds. Her relationship with Harrison Chase was built on her need for comfort and safety rather than true love. Michael Corinthos provided a sense of home, structure, and familial acceptance, which she latched onto wholeheartedly. Now, Drew Quartermaine represents a sense of heroism and stability, which she is using as an emotional crutch during the collapse of her marriage. The real question is, will Willow ever learn to stand on her own? Or will she continue falling into the same destructive cycle, relying on a revolving door of relationships to feel safe? Michael's awakening, understanding Willow's real problem. While Michael and Willow's love story seems solid from the outside, Michael has begun to see the cracks in their foundation. Over the past few months, he has realized that Willow's attachment to him was not just about love, it was about security. As her marriage to Michael crumbles, she is gravitating toward Drew, not necessarily because she is in love with him, but because he offers a sense of protection that she fears she will lose. This realization puts Michael in a difficult position. He wants to be there for Willow, and most importantly, for their children, but he also doesn't want to enable a cycle that will only leave her trapped in another dependent relationship. Michael, however, is not the only one trying to intervene, and this is where things get even messier. Carly and Nina's help backfires, a classic case of misguided intervention. Despite their ongoing animosity, Carly Spencer and Nina Reeves find themselves inadvertently aligned in their efforts to steer Willow away from Drew. Carly, protective of Michael and wary of Drew's sudden importance in Willow's life, believes that the best way to wake Willow up is by highlighting Drew's flaws. She thinks that if she can show Willow why Drew isn't the right choice, Willow will come to her senses. Nina, despite her past betrayals, finds herself oddly in agreement with Carly. She, too, worries that Willow is falling into a pattern that will only hurt her in the long run. However, both women fail to recognize the deeper issue: Willow's dependency on external validation and security. Instead of empowering Willow to find strength within herself, they are attempting to manipulate her decision-making, which only drives her closer to Drew. The more pressure they apply, the more Willow digs in her heels and convinces herself that Drew is her only refuge. This miscalculated approach is setting the stage for a dramatic fallout, one that may leave Carly and Nina with even more shattered relationships than before. Nina's secret influence over Willow's divorce, more than meets the eye. Beyond their emotional interventions, Nina has been pulling strings behind the scenes, using her influence over Marty Gray to complicate Willow's legal situation. Willow may feel emotionally ready to cut ties with Michael, but Nina's interference ensures that her divorce remains legally entangled in red tape. This puts Willow in a frustrating limbo, one where she is emotionally checked out of her marriage but unable to fully move forward. As long as she remains tied to Michael on paper, she may justify her connection to Drew as simply waiting for the right time rather than making a definitive choice. But how long can she keep using that excuse before reality forces her hand? The shadow of the past: Willow's decisions as a mother. One of the most heart-wrenching aspects of Willow's situation is the impact of her past choices as a mother. Years ago, she made the difficult decision to give up her child for adoption because she believed it was the safest option. While she thought she was doing the right thing, the emotional scars of that choice have never fully healed. Now, Willow faces another life-altering decision, not just for herself, but for her children. Her fear of making the wrong choice could paralyze her, leaving her stuck in a situation that is neither fully committed to Michael nor completely invested in Drew. The pressure from Michael's family, combined with Nina's constant presence, only exacerbates her uncertainty. If Willow allows history to repeat itself, she may once again make a decision based on fear rather than true conviction. Will she convince herself that sticking with Drew is what's best for her children, even if it isn't the best for her? The high-stakes consequences: will Willow ever break free? With so many forces pulling her in different directions, Willow's fate hangs in the balance. She has spent her entire life moving from one safety net to another, never fully standing on her own. But this moment is different. This is her chance to finally break the cycle and claim her own independence. The real question is, does she have the courage to do it? If Willow fails to recognize the destructive pattern she is in, she risks not only losing herself but also damaging her relationships beyond repair. She could end up estranged from Michael's family, entangled in a relationship with Drew that isn't built on real love, and alienating the very people who want the best for her. However, if she finally steps into her own power, this could be a defining moment, a time when she chooses herself rather than relying on another man to save her. Final thoughts: a future hanging in the balance. Port Charles is watching closely as Willow's emotional battle unfolds. While those around her fight to guide her in the direction they believe is right, only she can make the final decision. The question remains: will she follow her usual pattern and choose the comfortable path, or will she finally take a leap of faith and embrace her independence? One thing is certain: the next chapter of Willow's story will change everything. Next, we're diving into a storm of confrontations, secrets, and high-stakes drama as some of Port Charles's biggest players find themselves at crossroads that could change everything. Jason Morgan's protective instincts are on full display, Jocelyn Jacks faces another round of intense scrutiny, and Nina Reeves teeters on the edge of a confession. Let's break down every angle of this escalating tension, uncover hidden motivations, and predict what might come next. Nina Reeves, a confession hanging in the balance. Nina Reeves has found herself standing at the precipice of a decision that could send shockwaves through her already fragile relationships. Recent interactions suggest that she may finally be ready to tell Willow Tate the truth, but the real question is, which truth? In her last conversation, she hinted that she had something difficult to say. Could it be that she's about to admit her affair with Drew Quartermain? The weight of the deception has been building, and the guilt may be too much for her to bear. If so, this could drive an irrevocable wedge between Drew and Willow, especially if Willow feels completely blindsided by the betrayal. However, this is Nina we're talking about, and history suggests that she's not the type to come clean so easily. Even when cornered, she often finds a way to deflect or delay. While it seems like the perfect moment for an admission, there's a strong possibility that she'll either get interrupted or second-guess herself at the last second. And let's not forget Carly Spencer. She and Nina seem to have reached an understanding when it came to dealing with Drew, so why would Nina jeopardize that now? If the main goal was to manipulate Drew's relationships, telling Willow the truth wouldn't serve her well. The tension between them is already simmering, and any sudden revelation could push Willow to make a move Nina isn't prepared for. Still, the walls are closing in, and Nina should know by now that secrets in Port Charles don't stay buried for long. If she doesn't confess on her own terms, she may find herself exposed in a way that leaves her with no control over the outcome. Jocelyn Jacks, a reckless pursuit for the truth. Jocelyn Jacks is about to face another round of scrutiny, and Anna Devane is not holding back. Once again, Joss finds herself under fire for her reckless pursuit of justice, and her latest decisions are drawing concern from all directions. Anna has every reason to be furious. Not only was Joss explicitly warned to stay out of a dangerous situation, but she also may have ignored that warning completely and put herself in harm's way once again. The main issue? Joss still doesn't seem to grasp just how much danger she's playing with. It's possible that Joss believes she's doing the right thing by getting involved, maybe even bringing evidence or an address to Anna in hopes of pushing the investigation forward. But if that's the case, Anna will not be pleased. The veteran law enforcement officer knows how unpredictable and dangerous Cyrus Renault can be, and she has no patience for Jocelyn inserting herself where she doesn't belong. What's even worse? Anna might have already found out that Joss paid a visit to Cyrus' apartment herself. If that's true, this conversation is going to be much harsher than a simple warning. Anna has seen firsthand what happens to people who cross Cyrus, and she might bluntly tell Joss that her reckless behavior could get her killed. At this point, we have to wonder how far will Joss push before she learns her lesson. Will she finally take a step back and realize she's not as invincible as she thinks? Or will she continue down a path that could put her life and the lives of those around her in jeopardy? One thing's for sure, if she keeps going at this pace, she's bound to cross a line she can't come back from. Jason Morgan. The ultimate protector. If there's one thing Jason Morgan is known for, it's his unwavering loyalty to the people he loves. But when that loyalty is tested, especially when it involves his family, he becomes a force to be reckoned with. And right now, Cyrus Renault is dangerously close to pushing him past his breaking point. It all started when Danny Morgan made a reckless decision, one that led him directly into the lion's den. Instead of staying out of trouble, Danny confronted Cyrus about his mother's death, an act that could have easily ended in tragedy. By the time Jason found out, Cyrus already had a hand on Danny's shoulder, a move that sent Jason into full-on Papa Bear mode. For someone like Jason, threats against his family are met with swift and decisive action. He wasted no time issuing a chilling warning to Cyrus, one that left no room for misinterpretation. If Cyrus so much as touches Danny again, Jason made it clear that his body would never be found. Now, anyone familiar with Cyrus Renault knows that he thrives on manipulation, often playing the role of the clueless, innocent victim whenever possible. This situation is no different. Cyrus likely believes his own delusions, that he's not the villain everyone makes him out to be. But Jason sees right through him, and he's not about to let this slide. Once the confrontation is over, Jason will have a serious talk with Danny, ensuring that his son understands just how reckless his actions were. However, we expect that Jason won't be overly harsh. Instead of punishing Danny, he'll explain why approaching someone like Cyrus is not just dangerous, it could compromise an entire investigation. The most important takeaway? Danny must stay as far away from Cyrus as possible. Final thoughts: the tension is reaching a breaking point. Port Charles is on the brink of chaos, and with every passing moment, the stakes grow higher. Nina is standing at the edge of a confession that could upend her entire world. But will she actually go through with it? Jocelyn's reckless need for justice is putting her at risk. How much longer before she pays the price for her defiance? And Jason? He may have handled this situation for now, but if Cyrus decides to retaliate, things could escalate into an all-out war.